So the Dow is up a lot since the end of May. I have a 6-month chart here right now. It went from 21,000 to 22,000 pretty quickly. It went from 22,000 to 23,000 on the Dow in record time. It might even be over 24,000 in a month or less. And the market could, President Trump tax cuts, how the announcements now are, they may be gradual and they may take 5 years or so for them to get to the full amount of 20% corporate taxes. The market may just shrug that off, whereas, you know, in the past that would have been interpreted as more bad news. The market may say, oh well, people are still going to buy the dip. Capital flows are going to be coming into the United States. Central banks, there may be still a lot of central bank capital coming in. There's still a lot of capital flows coming in from other areas like China and Europe. But I just wanted to talk about, you know, predictions, what you guys think is going to happen to the Dow in the near future. One of the craziest predictions I've heard about the Dow is from Martin Armstrong. So Martin Armstrong, he's a very interesting guy. And he's made a lot of crazy predictions. He was actually predicting the Dow was going to double. So he's been off on that. But he's been saying that the Dow is going to go to 42,000, I think, in the next couple years. So we'll see if that ends up coming to fruition. That would kind of be the Ludwig von Mises crack-up boom. Although Martin Armstrong hates Austrian School Economics. So I don't think he would like being associated with a prediction like that. But a lot of the people who bash Austrian School of Economics don't really know any Austrian School of Economics. They haven't even read a book or two. They don't understand any of it. The Austrians actually, like Ludwig von Mises and Murray Rothbard, actually didn't make timing predictions. They actually just talked about, you know, all this misallocation of capital. And what a lot of people who claim to know Austrian School of Economics but don't realize is that Ludwig von Mises and Murray Rothbard said a lot of that capital would not hit the real economy first. In a huge credit expansion, huge inflationary event, it would go into capital markets. It would go into asset prices. So that's something that a lot of people who bash Austrian School of Economics or misinterpret it or want to say, oh, you can't do any timing with it, it's useless. That's the main thing that people are missing is if you actually studied it, that's what you would know. Last week, I mentioned a potential arbitrage trade. I called it manipulation arbitrage, where either for manipulation purposes or capital flight or central bank intervention or plunge protection team or whatever, the Dow could continue to go up and up and up while the real economy gets worse and worse. And so, you know, maybe the indices itself will go higher, but a lot of companies in the S&P 500 are not doing well. So if you're a more sophisticated, either a hedge fund manager type or a very sophisticated trader, what you could do then is you could go long the Dow or the S&P 500 then with calls. You could do that on the long side and have that. And then as a trade idea, you could look at individual fundamental analysis and go through balance sheets, look for companies that are either at or below 200-day moving averages on charts. You could go and look for companies in the S&P 500 that have been bombing earnings with bad revenue, bad earnings multiple quarters in a row. So that would be your arbitrage trade. You'd be long the manipulated general stock market indices that are going higher pretty much no matter what, and you know, buy the dip mentality, absorbing bad news, shrugging it off, and then go and potentially buy puts then out of the money or something like that. You could email me if you're interested in talking about setting up this trade. The average retail investor should not be touching this trade. If you're very sophisticated and you have a lot of capital, this would be something to consider. You know, you're a big shot hedge fund manager, very sophisticated trader. This would be something to consider. But yeah, so Martin Armstrong is predicting Dow 42,000. There's actually some very interesting, I'll attach a link here from Financial Survival Network. Kerry Lutz is friends with him, although he doesn't agree with everything he says. Martin Armstrong's basically libertarian, but doesn't like Austrian School Economics. So there's some interesting comments underneath here. You know, one of them says Armstrong's a crook. Look at his Wikipedia page. There was a Ponzi scheme in Japan, and there's still hundreds of millions of dollars missing, and the FBI agents are alleging that Martin Armstrong hid the money in rare coins in numismatics, and they're outside the country in like either foreign bank accounts or foreign safety deposit boxes. Bingo. Yeah. Foreign bank accounts or foreign safety deposit boxes. And then there's actually a guy here who went back and through a bunch of Martin Armstrong's other track records. Martin Armstrong, before he got out of prison, he was actually gold bug. He was speaking with people in GATA like Bill Murphy and Jim Sinclair. He's actually very bullish on gold. And then as soon as he got out of prison, he stopped liking gold. Very interesting. What's your opinion here on the stock market indices on the Dow? I don't think there's any real fundamental reasons for these indices going higher. I think it's capital flight from other countries into the United States. I think it's high-frequency trading computers and other manipulative tools from plunge protection teams buying the dip, and then it's central bank intervention. You also have, you know, the passive index crowd chasing higher and higher, but a lot of retail people don't have the money to put into retirement accounts. I know a lot of my listeners aren't doing that. But if you're a regular person and you don't believe in the alternative media and you believe, you know, CNBC and Bloomberg, you've liquidated your other investments and you're chasing stocks higher. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see Dow 42,000? Is this the crack-up boom? Is this, do you think there's going to be a stock market crash in the near future? There's a lot of global economic landmines, and yet, you know, the general stock market indices in the United States just keep shrugging these things off. Wall Street for Main Street needs your help. Since the middle of 2016, YouTube continues to increasingly censor and sabotage the growth and success of my channel with dramatically slower or no subscriber growth, a huge decrease in views per month compared to 2016, and well over $10,000 lost in Google AdSense revenues the last 18 months. I should have been way over 20,000 subscribers and way over 3 million views last year, but it feels like I am Sisyphus trying to roll a heavier boulder with more and more additional weight up a steeper and steeper hill. In the last few weeks, all of my videos have been set to demonetization by default, and I have to manually protest each video. This is in addition to even lower than usual Google AdSense revenues after the adpocalypse started over a year ago for me. This has also affected my ability to get paid advertisers to agree to deals not involving YouTube, as I lost $3,000 per month in paid advertising deals at the end of June 2017 because all my analytics are down a lot thanks to YouTube censorship algorithms that have intentionally kneecapped the growth of my channel. With YouTube/Google/Alphabet /Don't Be Evil strongly considering demonetizing or setting all libertarian, conservative, or pro-Trump content to private to prevent any sharing or monetization, it is imperative I have a contingency plan to figure out how to make a living off my content. Each 30 to 40 minute video takes a few hours of my time before it's released to the public. There's a strong possibility that in the near future, YouTube will force me to move all or almost all my content to a new video upload website that allows free speech or behind a paywall on my own website. Thanks if you have already made a one-time or recurring monthly donation, and thanks in advance for any future donations as I decide the future of my channel and what to do with my content going forward. We accept one-time donations on the Wall Street for Main Street website via PayPal, Bitcoin, or Gold Money. You can also become a monthly Patreon contributor for $1 or more a month if you want to help me out. And don't forget to like each video on YouTube and share it with your friends and family if you think they would like the content.